Yo, what's going on, boys? Goldzen back here with another Friday news update in World of Warcraft. Every week I go through the Wowhead news and just filter out all the news that I feel that's relevant for me and my audience. Stay tuned, we're going to get straight into today's quick news video. There's a bit to cover, but yeah, hopefully you enjoy this type of news segment filter for you, so you don't, or just hopefully it makes it easier for you to determine how the direction is going with World of Warcraft development, with retail, and in going into the future expansion Midnight. So yeah, let me know what you reckon. But we'll get straight into it, like I said. What's going down? My name's Goldzen, a 36-year-old millennial bloke from Perth, Western Australia, you know, the land down under. Join me and my crew as we navigate the treacherous waters that is retail World of Warcraft. We are on a quest to obtain 100 million gold. I'll be showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly side of gold making with full transparency. Every Tuesday, I'll be counting me gold and seeing how many doubloons I get per hour. I'm not perfect, not by a long shot, but crikey, I'm working my ass off to get there slow and steady. So all aboard, you scurvy dogs. Drop me some helpful comments below and let's plunder that gold together. All right, kicking off patch 11.2.7 just a couple days ago. We got official patch notes here. Just a quick what's coming. We've got, you can continue the campaign with Arator and do that in Dornigal. So that's kind of like the prologue to the Midnight. You can do player housing early access now. We did do a stream on Reset, so if you do want to check out the day one shenanigans and all that, go check out the edited stream on my channel. There's a new and returning player experiences, so this is really good addition for new players coming back to the game. Returning players and new players going into World of Warcraft into Midnight. I reckon Midnight's going to pop like pretty hard with accessibility just going through the roof, and they really want to get people in this game. And to be honest, that's what we want. We want as many people in the game as possible. So it's good to see that. Bit more lore walking there if you want to get into the lore. Some heritage armor, which I don't know how to get. Not really my style, but you know. Turbulent Timeways has started, so we got 10 weeks of time walking, I guess, every week for 10 weeks. And if you do it for 5 weeks straight, when you hold that buff, you can get some rewards. Also coming next week, not this week, so next week, Brawler's Guild's going to come. I haven't seen this before, might check it out. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But let's talk about the Turbulent Timeways, and this week 1 is now live, and we're starting with Shadowlands here. So there's pretty much, so if you don't know what time walking is, real quick, it's basically, we have an option to do the old dungeons through the dungeon finder, and you get like the badges, time warp badges, which you can collect and then purchase cosmetics and stuff from previous expansions, which is, it's a good way to like level up and, you know, have a bit of fun along the way, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, so we're starting with Shadowlands. This is the first time we've seen Shadowlands time walking. The last time they did this was BFA, so we had 2 weeks. So the first week and the last week were BFA. This time it's Shadowlands. So week 1's probably going to be a bit buggy, just FYI, if you've experienced any bugs. I have already, I've reported several, but that's why they do this. So so this week, if you're doing time walking, be prepared to be prepared to be frustrated and chuck some stuff on there. But this is the natural thing. This is how the player base tests the game to, you know, hopefully make it better, you know, for everyone else. So then it goes Mist, Classic, Legion, Cataclysm, Burning Crusade, Warlords of Draenor, Battle for Azeroth, Wrath of the Lich King. There's so many expansions now. Holy moly. But yeah, if you do this for 5 weeks straight, so you can be 50% uptime, you can skip a week, who cares? But I think you get a choice of some of these. Yeah, you get a choice of one of the 4, I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, now the player housing function is now, early access, is now available. Blizzard have put a, what do you call it? Creating your first home video here, so for you boys to go and have a quick look if you just want to get introduced to it. I honestly don't think you need it, because the in-game tutorial pretty much shows you how to do it anyway. And yeah, this kind of like for other players like on Final Fantasy and other MMOs, Palea and stuff like that, just see like how World of Warcraft system, the housing creativity system works, to hopefully entice those players into the World of Warcraft universe, I guess. All right, talking about player housing, it looks like Horde and Alliance both have new campsites, which have been found on the Midnight beta. So Campsites, if you're not sure what campsites are, these are like the starting screen. So like you got your logo, you have your characters here, all your characters here on the left, on the right hand side, and then your characters are standing here. So it looks like we got a Horde one and Alliance one. Pretty cool. I think more campsites are better. All right, let's talk about a bit more quality of life information or add-ons for your player housing experience. So if you're already a couple of days in and you boys want to level up your house, the only way to level up your house, renown if you like, or your housing leveling track. And if you don't know what the leveling track is as you gain experience, you'll get more utility and tools and unlocks and decor limits and bigger rooms and better rooms, you know. So leveling, if you really want to get really creative in this housing thing, there is a leveling track path for you to grow. The one way to boost up is to collect unique decor. Once you collect a decor, it adds about 10 housing experience to your reputation or housing rep, I guess. And there's two add-ons here, one called Homebound and another one called Decor Vendor. Homebound is the add-on that shows you what achievements, so like through the expansions, if you get like certain reputations and achievements, this Homebound add-on tells you pretty much if you've unlocked it or you still need. It's kind of like a mini all the things, but for like housing. I highly recommend this one if you really want to collect everything, which I definitely think I want to collect all the housing decor for sure, but we need to see how hard that's going to be. The other add-on is the Decor Vendor. This Decor Vendor is exactly what it says. It shows you where the housing vendors are in the world of Azeroth. So if you want to click on one of these vendors and it'll point a waypoint arrow. You need the add-on TomTom for it to work. But yeah, like especially like if you're an established player, I guess you probably got a bunch of achievements and you just want to go out and collect housing experience. Go ahead and do it. These two add-ons on CurseForge definitely must-haves. Okay, let's talk about crafting. Decor housing crafting. Here we go. This here is a new profession crafting system for gold makers and collectors alike. Predominantly this one here is really good for gold makers. They have introduced a new lumber system, which is kind of like another prerequisite that you need to have. Another additional reagent that's bind on pickup, so only you can collect it. It's kind of like if you want to craft heaps of decor, you got to do a lot of lumbering, and each expansion has their own lumber that will be used in that expansion's specific decor crafted items. It's kind of weird, but it is pretty simple. But like if you want to craft the Cataclysm stuff, you go and collect the lumber from the Cataclysm zone, and then you take that lumber, add the reagents, and then you can craft that, and then you can sell it on the auction house too, which is cool. Here's a couple pictures of what sort of decor you can get. So these are like candles, scrying pool, there's like a vase here. There's heaps of stuff, there's some blacksmithing items here, treasure chairs, you got like an oven, fireplace, you got some lighting, fountains. There's even a mailbox. This is probably cool. Like there's so many decor items. Look at this engineering telescope, Tesla coil thingy, windmill. Oh, who wants a windmill? This is good. This new crafting housing stuff is just awesome addition to the game. So all of this can be crafted. Look how many items there are. There is so many. Look at these new windows. Oh, I actually want to go and collect everything and be able to craft stuff as well. But just note, if you want to craft everything, it's going to take a while for you to unlock everything. But in addition, it's going to take you even more time to be able to. Because you need the lumber. The lumber is the bottleneck. So this I can see this decor crafting being the long game. Just remember, don't sell your crafted decor items too cheap now. We wouldn't want anyone to go and snap that up and redistribute it for a higher price, because lumber is the bottleneck, and that's majority of your profit there. So you really lumbering is a new profession. Also, cheers. I got my coffee. I just forgot I got my coffee. I better drink it. Today's news is going to be a big episode, so stay tuned. We got more to cover. Yeah, just as a friendly reminder, if you do like me covering the Wowhead news every week, and you want me to continue making the weekly series, just chuck me a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's very much appreciated. I am trying to build the channel up to 5,000 subscribers for the midnight expansion. So yeah, help a brother out. But let's move on. Let's talk about the lumber a little bit more. This here shadow lumber, not directly available on the trees on launch. What do they mean by this? So apparently the lumber in the Draenor expansion, you can't gather it, because apparently in that expansion they had a wood gathering mechanic already in there, apparently, for the garrisons. I never played it. This is what I've heard. So because they haven't fixed it yet, they're going to fix it later on. And the temporary fix, if you want to craft the Warlords of Draenor decor items, you got to go to Burning Crusade and farm the lumber from Burning Crusade, and then go back to your neighborhood, right? And then exchange the Burning Crusade lumber for the Warlords of Draenor lumber. It's kind of weird, but maybe that's a market that people haven't got into. So if you are crafting decor now, maybe focus your time and effort on farming and crafting the Warlords of Draenor crafted equipment, just because it's got an added roadblock, and maybe a lot of people don't understand that yet, but they might. But who knows? Good luck out there with your crafting decor. Shout out to my boy CrazyBearGold. He's streaming it. He's doing it with five gatherers gathering lumber. It's pretty insane setup using the hive mind mount. But yeah, give my boy CrazyBearGold a shout out over on Twitch. I'll put a link to his Twitch in the description of the video if you want to catch him. Yeah, definitely I learned a lot from him, so I'm going to shout him out for sure. Okay, patch 11.2.7. There's some known issues. It's not a perfect patch, no patch ever is. But if you are crafting decor and you realize that there's resourcefulness there, but your current tools are not being used to get resourcefulness, it'd be pretty cool. We need to test if we can get resourcefulness on the lumber itself. That would be cool. But you can see here on this patch notes here, we'll highlight here, professions crafting tool stats may not apply to crafting recipes from expansions prior to Dragonflight. So this is a known issue. It does mean that they're working on it, but it also means that double resourcefulness tools, so missive and the enchant, is going to be best in slot when they fix this for crafting decor. This is going to be awesome. But we really won't know if we get procs on lumber, but we'll find out. Okay, there's still heaps to go, boys. Buckle in, man. All right. Okay, so farming reputation with the anniversary experience buff to earn housing rewards. Now, what are they talking about? So if you don't know, the anniversary event is up now, which gives you you get a 10% experience bonus and a 10% reputation bonus. If you go to the anniversary area in Tanaris, there's a quest in your capital city that will take you there. You do a short little quest and then you'll get an additional 10% reputation. So that's 20% reputation. Also, the Dark Moon Fair's coming up in 1 or 2 weeks, so that'll be another 10%. So we could potentially up to 30% extra experience for to grind reputation. And why would you want to grind reputation here? Well, it's because the reputation gives additional you can buy decor, right? But the only requirement is to be exalted, or for example here, the Blackwater Cartel in the Undermine, which is ironically the last reputation that I had to get to exalted. I've now completed all of the reputation to 100% in the War Within, so I'm pretty happy with that little achievement. But this now means I have to go back to the cartel dude, and we'll get these. Looks like there's a street light here. There's like a deck chair. We got more, all this decor. It's all reputation locked. So if you are collecting all the decor to level up your house, this is another way to do it. You could spend gold and buy the decor off the auction house, which is pretty expensive. But if you're like me and you farm reputation, at least you get a little kickback in the form of decor for your house. And some of this decor is pretty cool. There's a lot here. You get a little cart, yeah, exalted with stormwind. So like go back and do all your rep farms if you really want to. Up to you. In my opinion, I reckon take it slow and steady. There's no real rush on housing, right? This really only at the moment benefits people who have been playing for 21 years and they've got all their reputations exalted. They've got heaps of stuff, achievements. But yeah, speaking of achievements, the next article is decorate your home with the achievements in patch 11.2.7. So again, iterating or adding to the whole collection thing. They're making it so certain achievements can give you decor here. So people who are doing like reputation achievements and all that kind of stuff, those people are getting rewarded big time. So shout out to all the people out there that have been going hard collecting all this stuff over the years. Congratulations, you're now getting a lot of decor that's coming from all these vendors across the world. So this is a lot of decor from achievements. I'm not much of an achievement person, but man, like look, like even PvP achievements here, heaps of PvP achievements. You got dungeons and raids, you got even profession achievements. Wow, there's so much. Like player housing, this thing's evergreen. This could take another 10 years for people like me to try and go and collect over time. You know, I'll definitely collect this. You know, as I get older and older. Maybe when I get too old and I get sick of making too much gold, I'll just go and chill and do all the achievements and that bit by bit. That would be cool. All right. What about, if you're wondering, you play Alliance. Personally, I play Alliance and I don't have a Horde character at all. But if you want to buy a house in the opposite faction's neighborhood, all you have to do simply is create a character on the opposite faction, right? And then you just got to do like the little intro quest, and then at the end of that intro quest, you'll get you get the option to choose, your house from there. So yeah, it probably takes less than 10 minutes to get a Horde house or Alliance house. And once you do get that, you can teleport to either house. So in the housing dashboard, there's a little tab on the right hand side you can click, and it shows you'll have your Alliance house, and then you click down, you'll have your Horde house. And you can as an Alliance player, I can teleport to my Horde house and vice versa. So pretty cool. So just remember, everyone has 2 houses, 1 Alliance, 1 Horde. It's totally up to you. I'm quite happy with just 1 house. One's enough. Okay, let's talk Legion Remix. Yes, Legion Remix is still happening. My God, this news segment's huge, man. But we'll keep going. It is patch day. It is patch week, after all. But they've gave a massive 80% nerf to the experience that you need from level 70 to 80. This is kind of crazy. In fact, I think this is for both retail and Legion Remix. I think it's actually for retail, but which carries over to Legion Remix, so I could be wrong. No, yeah. Okay, so from level 70 to 80, there's literally 80% nerf. The amount of experience you need to level up is just 80% quicker. So that's going to make leveling from 70 to 80 really quickly, especially in conjunction with the time walking event over the next 10 weeks. So if you really want to level up hardcore from level 70, say if you've got a couple characters at 72 and you just want to get them up to level 84 midnight, which I highly recommend you do, because level 80 is going to be the requirement for the professions, level 81 for the profession tools. So if you want to make some easy gold through concentration within the first month, do stay tuned for my concentration build guides coming out on the channel. We will be making those for each market. Also, I guess Legion Remix news starts now, and thank God, but they've actually made it so you can scrap the motes of a broken time. If you're playing one character and you're fully geared and your bags just have motes on motes on motes and you don't know what to do with it. Finally, the Blizzard have heard the community, and they're now made it so you can, Eris will now scrap your motes of a broken time, converting them into the fragmented mementos of epoch challenges. But there is a limitation on here, up to 50 per day and in stacks of 25. So you can't just sell them all in one go. I don't know why they did that, because that's just going to make, it kind of depends. If you're already at 999% versatility, like getting more artifact power doesn't really make sense because you can pretty much solo anything. But it's a good change, but they needed to make it so you can just convert all of them instead of like per day. I reckon that's a bit stupid. Okay, speaking of stupidity, we've got Weak Auras having still no plans for Weak Auras at midnight. Update from Weak Auras. So Weak Auras is having a sook and they don't currently plan to release a Weak Auras version for midnight. Well, boo-hoo. I love Weak Auras. I think it's a great add-on, but it feels like the developers are having a bit of a sook. They're looking for sympathy, basically. They said, we are discontinuing support primarily because of the secret values concept. So that Blizzard, if you're unaware of the dramas, Blizzard are getting rid of like combat add-ons. Like they're trying to make it so Weak Auras can't have full functionality. So if anything, it's getting like half the functionality. So because they're not getting all the functionality that they want, because they're trying to improve the game overall, Weak Auras is having a sook. But the good thing about and the thing I know about markets is that if someone doesn't want to do it, then that leaves the window open for someone else to come in and do a new Weak Auras add-on. And if Weak Auras if the devs for Weak Auras don't want to come in, well, that doesn't, tough titties, someone else will come in and make another light version of Weak Auras because we definitely need Weak Auras to track like combat related stuff like on the screen, like reputation bars, like buffs and, all sorts of little things, little texts. Yeah, someone will come along and make another one, but it seems like Weak Auras are having a bit of a sook. Okay, well, I guess they're going through the 5 stages of grief. And Weak Auras are at the start. Elview had a sook before as well, saying, we're going to discontinue it as well, blah blah blah. But looky, Elview development returning for midnight. There you go. They said they're pretty much the same thing, but now they're like, okay, we're going to bring it back. We're going to have to make some changes, obviously, but the 5 stages of grief, when anything changes in the real world or any change at all, people they get upset and then they got to bargain, and at the end they got to accept that the changes come. Shout out to the social media ban for under 16-year-olds in Australia. We're tiptoeing to tyranny over here, I think. But you know what I mean? Like people are going to get upset, and then they're going to move forward, and then eventually they're going to accept it. We're talking about the majority people here. They're going to accept it, and it looks like, I think the best way to attack any sort of change is to look at what's happening, realize, is it inevitable? Is it going to happen? If the answer is yes, okay, well, we can either sook about it or we can just change to adapt to it. Unfortunately, that's how I see it. Yeah, crazy shit. But last one on the Today Friday news. Thanks for staying. This is a bit of a long one. I appreciate the viewership. But yeah, Midnight Season 1 begins March 17th. So we're getting like a full 2 weeks of no raids or something like that. But let's have a quick look at the schedule. So 2 weeks after the launch, we're going to get the Void Spire raid, normal and heroic difficulties, and the Dream Rift raid. So no mythic on week 1. So week 1, no mythic raid, just normal and heroic. So that's going to be really good for the splits on the Race to World first. We're going to get Season 1 dungeons, heroic and mythic difficulty. So no mythic plus. So I guess week 1 is basically everyone doing mythic zeros and then going straight into normal and heroic splits to gear up. PvP Season 1 is dropping on March 17, and also the Bountiful Delves. So we're going to have 2 weeks of doing some delves, but the Bountiful Delves come in. The Bountiful Delves come in with all the rewards, so all the gear. Okay, and then the following week, the mythic difficulty unlocks for Void Spire and the Dream Rift. Note, only 2 raids are opening. There's technically 3 raids in Season 1. Mythic Plus Season 1 launches on the 24th of March. So nearly like 3.5 weeks after early access. So we're going to have so much time to prepare for Season 1 Mythic Plus and Mythic Raid. Kind of crazy. And then, yeah, this is actually quite crazy because the big raid, which is March on Quell Danas, that comes out on March 31st. So like over a month from early access, we're going to get the final raid, which is normal, heroic and mythic. So this is going to be really interesting for the race to world first. It's giving the race to world first like 2 weeks to prep, and then it's game on for the last one. So because they've got 3 raids now, there's one raid with 1 boss, and there's a second raid with 2 bosses, and then the third raid, which is the March on Quell de Nas, that has 6 bosses. So 9 bosses in total. This is going to be interesting, man, because people are going to, we're going to have 2 vaults. We're going to have 1 vault before the March of Quell de Nas comes out. But before that, we're going to have, split. So split week, and then Mythic Plus vaults and the raids. Mythic raid vaults, and then boom, 31st of March, man. That's going to be sick. And I reckon everyone's going to watch it because it's going to be a month into the midnight expansion. I reckon the race to world first is going to see a lot more viewership. I might even watch it this time because a month in, I'm chilling. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with your boy Goldzen on this Friday. Thank God it's Friday, WoW News segment. Every week we do it. We're going to stream tomorrow on Saturday. So just so you know, I stream on Wednesday, and we'll have a weekly recap on Tuesday and the WoW News on Friday. That's the minimum schedule I've got so far. I can iterate that over time, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, enjoy the weekend. Hopefully I'll see you on stream. If not, I'll see you on the next one, and I'll take it easy, boys.